Well, presiding member, first of all, I'd like to say I agree with Honorable Nalaka Gureva, the starting part of his speech, where he said PUCSL is supposed to speak for the rights of the consumers. But the only issue in this is that the chairman of the PUCSL didn't speak for the rights of the consumers. He spoke for the issues concerning his residencies, and he spoke for the issues concerning him. And when all this is at stake, it's unbelievable that the opposition is still playing politics at this point. Because right now, I would just like to say that given the position which Mr. Ratnayaka sits in, it's supposed to be an independent position and one that is unbiased. But I would just like to go through and see why, on how he has acted independently. First of all, let me start off with the fact that he is somebody who has been giving out statements based on political bias and also statements which have been instigating the public without any real contribution to the Ministry of Power and Energy. And other than that, there's an energy sector reform which we are trying to bring forward, which is critical to the development of this country and for the future of this country. And there has been severe objections raised on that by, again, the chairman of the PUCSL. And other than that, there's also been objecting of the unbundling process which the CEB has taken in. And also, I would also like to say one more thing that, just in line with what the opposition has been mentioning from the starting of today, that, they value independency. But however, independency is surprisingly correlated in the opposition's views with that of anti-reform, anti-progress, and anti-privatization. This is not how we are trying to take things forward. We, at the end of the day, require a chairman of suitable caliber to be there, not a chairman who is pro-government or pro-president or pro-minister, but a chairman who is going to act independently and provide solutions rather than creating more problems. And more than that, I would just like to say that recently, I believe it was the 3rd of May. In the 3rd of May, a press conference was given by the chairman of the PUCSL, where he said, according to the concept plan in his possession, the independent current regulator will be abolished and replaced with an electrical commission, where members can be replaced more easily by political establishment. See, this is not true at all, because, first of all, the chairman of the PUCSL has a responsibility towards the public. He cannot mislead the public, nor can he reveal confidential documents which belong to the government, and I'm sure the opposition would agree with me on that as well, because it's in direct violation of the establishment code. And beyond that, I have spoken to the minister as well, and I think some clarity needs to be issued on the statement made by the chairman. First off, the regulator will not be abolished, but rather the regulator will be made responsible and empowered with suitable criteria for commission members. And other than that, the chairman had somehow managed to correlate the Electricity Council to that of the regulator. The Electricity Council is a separate entity which is dealing with policy and not with regulatory work. Again, this is how public have been misled, and I'm sure certain parliamentarians here also have been misled due to that. And moreover, we are basically trying to do through the minister that the regulators should be held accountable and they will be empowered at the same time. So this is the truth beyond the statement that was given. So when constantly these sort of statements are given, these sort of, misrepresentations are provided to the public, it creates a false narrative, which we are not willing to encourage. And moreover, I would just like to say today in the morning I had come into Parliament and I heard the leader of the opposition's statements. And, I think I just have a few comments which I wanted to make on those statements. Due to my lack of time, I'm going to concise them. See, first of all, what we have to realize is right now the country is in crisis. And if it's in crisis, we need to take it forward rather than hold it back. And it's common knowledge. Everybody is well aware of the fact that we do have an issue with our administration, not just today or yesterday, but from the time of independence. Our fiscal management has been terrible, and in order to make sure that we come to a cost-reflective, export-oriented economy, hard decisions must be taken. And I'm glad at least some members in the opposition are supporting this change. But today's statements made by the leader of the opposition, it does bring some concern. Because, for example, in the starting, he had mentioned that about 22 million people in this country know who is working and who isn't. I'd like to repeat the same thing to him. Because right now, the 22 million people in the country want to take things forward. 6 months ago, we had absolutely nothing. Country was in total anarchy and chaos. Our inflation was at 65%. Now it's being brought down to less than 35%. And by December, we are confident it will come to single digits. And over the course of these changes, over the course of these decisions that are taken, yes, these tough decisions will be made. And
Honourable Member, you have another 2 more minutes.
Thank you. So I was just saying that overall, if you look at the pattern in which it has happened, anybody who is anti-reform, the opposition tend to have supported. For example, starting from the IUSF, starting from the chairman of the PUCSL, who is not acting independently, and entities who are completely anti-reform, anti-progress, who don't want to fix this country for the betterment of the children tomorrow, they have been completely in support of them. And this pattern, as you can see, just grows wilder and wilder. This is the same entities which we are talking about who want to take over the government. And when this is the case, I request the opposition to open their eyes and see what it is, and I'm pretty sure they are able to. But more than that, I would just like to say one last thing. See, the CEB made I believe it's made a total loss of 300 billion from the time of 2013. And when it's made such a big loss, right now you have the public asking questions as to, why are politicians driving around in fancy cars? Why are, this MP traveling in a fancy car? Why is the opposition MP traveling in a fancy car? But I'd also like to say that applies to bureaucrats as well. That applies to people of position in all situations. When the CEB has been making a loss of 300 billion rupees from 2013, I think the PUCSL chairman, he had indulged himself in a fancy vehicle. At the same time, he's given his own vehicle for rent to the electricity board. So when these issues are going on...
Honourable Member, time is up.
2 more minutes. And these issues are going on, I think we have to realize that we need to take a step back and course correct. And I would also like to say that as the General Secretary of the Ceylon Workers Congress, we pledge support to the Minister in reforming this particular field and taking things forward. I would just like to add one more point lastly. கௌரவ தலைமை தாங்கும் உறுப்பினர் அவர்களே, கௌரவ மனோகணேசன் அவர்கள் அங்கே உட்காந்துருக்காரு. அவர்கிட்ட ஒரு விஷயம் நான் சொல்லலான்னு இருந்தேன். என்னன்னா, இப்போ சமீபத்தில் நான் ஒரு அறிக்கை விட்டிருந்தேன். அதாவது மக்கள்கிட்ட ஒரு தவறான விஷயத்தை பரப்பக்கூடாது.
Please wind up.
2 minutes. மக்களுக்கு தவறான விஷயத்தை பரப்பக்கூடாது. ஆகவே தான் நாங்கள் அந்த பட்டியலையும் வெளியிட்டிருந்தோம். இது இரு கட்சிகளுக்கு நடுவில் இருக்க மோதல் கிடையாது. இது எங்களோட அபிப்பிராயம். இந்த துறையை சார்ந்து எங்களுக்கும் தெரியும். அன்னைக்கு ஷெஹான் சேமசிங் அமைச்சர் அவர்கள்கிட்டயும் பேசியிருந்தோம். அவர்கள்கிட்ட பேசி நாங்களும் இந்த பட்டியலை வெளியிட்டிருந்தோம். ஆனால் நாங்கள் மலையக கட்சிகளுக்கு மத்தியில் ஒரு ஒற்றுமை இருக்கணும் தான் நினைக்கிறோமே தவிர ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒருத்தர் தாக்கணும்னு நாங்கள் நினைக்கல. ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு தமிழ் முற்போக்கு கூட்டணியை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இன்னைக்கு ஒரு நல்ல உறவு இருக்கு. அந்த உறவு தொடர்ச்சியாக போகணும் தான் நாங்கள் சிந்திக்கிறோம். ஆனால் இன்னைக்கு கூட்டணிக்குள்ளார இருக்க ஒரு பிரதான கட்சி, அதில் ஒரு பிரதான உறுப்பினர் தொடர்ச்சியாகவே இலங்கை தொழிலாளர் காங்கிரஸ் சம்பந்தமே இல்லாமல் 2 minutes.
No, I can't allow you because time is very limited.
So, அது அப்படியே விமர்சிச்சுட்டே இருக்காரு. நான் என்ன சொல்றேன், நாங்கள் சொன்ன விஷயத்துல தவறு இருந்தால் அதை விமர்சிக்க சொல்லுங்க. ஆனால் இன்னைக்கு மலையக மக்கள் ஈத்தோக்கனால தான் கஷ்டப்படுறாங்கன்னு சொன்னால் அதை எங்களால் ஏற்றுக்க முடியாது. இன்னைக்கு கண்டி மாவட்டத்தில் அவர் வந்தது கூட இலங்கை தொழிலாளர் காங்கிரஸ்னால தானே தவிர வேற யாருனாலும் இல்லை.